After spending 3 hours widening the cave wall, Gerald finally reached Collins around midnight. The arrival of his friend gave Collins hope again. For the next several hours, Gerald worked hard to clear the loose rocks around Collins. He filled buckets again and again, climbed back up, emptied them, then returned. Slowly, Collins's torso was exposed, then his hips, then his thighs. For the first time, Collins was able to move his right leg, but because of Gerald's larger build, clearing rocks down to the thigh area was already the absolute limit of what he could do. After 6 hours of removing half a ton of rock, the exhausted Gerald returned to the surface. On the 5th day of Collins's entrapment, the smaller William Miller took over Gerald's task. He led more than a dozen men into the cave. Some were responsible for passing food, while others moved rocks out of the way. Whenever they had a free moment, they used wooden boards to reinforce the cave walls. Miller went directly to Collins and continued clearing the deeper debris. As his light illuminated the deeper part of the cave, Miller finally saw what they had not fully understood before. The rock had not only pinned Collins's foot down, its other end had slipped into a crack below. That meant the rock was wedged in place like a trap. It could not be pushed, and it could not be pulled free. Fortunately, Collins was still in relatively decent condition. He remained conscious and began opening up to Miller, speaking from the heart. After returning to the surface, Miller discussed the situation with several experts. They decided to use a jack to lift the massive rock, and once again, because of his small size, Miller was chosen to carry out the task. That evening, Miller brought the tools into the depths of the cave. According to the plan, he would slide down feet first, then turn himself over onto Collins's body. After that, he would wedge a crowbar against the rock and use the jack to lift the stone off Collins's foot. The idea sounded good in theory, but actually carrying it out was extremely difficult. First, the space was so tight that Miller could barely generate any force, and if the jack was not fixed perfectly, it could easily slip out of place. After repeated failures, Miller twisted his body into an extreme position. Then, during one attempt, the huge rock actually began to move. It was only slight, but it gave both men tremendous hope. Miller stared at the stone, his arms trembling as he used all his strength to press down on the handle. The rock seemed to slowly rise with it, but at that critical moment, the jack slipped again. The stone slammed back into place, landing directly on Collins's left foot once more. For the next several hours, Miller tried over and over to secure the jack. He added wooden blocks, changed positions, and searched for a stable support point. Collins did not stay silent either. Again and again, he encouraged Miller and urged him to keep going. A man was exploring an unknown underground cave alone, but as the passage suddenly narrowed, a massive rock weighing dozens of pounds broke loose and pinned his left leg down. Even worse, as he struggled to free himself, the cave wall collapsed again, burying him completely from the chest down and leaving him unable to move. A massive rescue operation was launched immediately. For half a month, rescue crews tried every possible method, but just when he was about to be saved, an accident no one could have predicted happened. This is the story of the extreme rescue at Sand Cave in the United States. It was the middle of